And Donovan, the fishing song on this Fishy Good Friday at 6:46, Guam's favorite, containing COVID. Something we've been following, obviously, very, very closely. The situation with the Theodore Roosevelt. And we wanted to bring Christina on. She is the mother of a sailor on board that ship. Her son, Jose, is... you haven't seen him since they got to Guam, right, Christina?
No, I haven't seen them.
I guess we just start. How are you? I know that's such a loaded question, but I just wanted to catch up with you and you tell us where you're at right now, dealing with all this.
Truth be told, I didn't even know the numbers until I popped on here. When you messaged me, I popped on real quick and I caught the tail end of what Bree was saying. So I really don't know the numbers. One is in ICU, I heard Bree say. Other than that, I'm fearful, but I know my son is okay.
Are you able to, is he messaging you, or what are the rules for the type of quarantine they're under, and are you able to tell us anything about that, where he's at? And
he's on the ship. He's still on the ship. He has been messaging me. He is fine. He is not feeling any symptoms or anything like that. He seems in very good spirits.
Bree has the numbers just to, because it's kind of interesting that they don't include the numbers in our local reporting, but the national news, and there's also a couple websites where they're tracking these numbers, so we're able to get that info. So Bree, what do you have?
3,170 of the crew tested negative, 416 have tested positive, 187 of those were symptomatic, 229 were asymptomatic, and they have 1,164 pending results. And then, as I mentioned, one hospitalized and one in ICU, and 2,700 are off the ship. And
okay, so that's one. Sorry, Bree. That's one that's hospitalized, and another sailor that has been put in ICU. So that's two different, right?
Right, and that's from a statement from the Vice Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General John Hyten, and that was from a press conference that was held at the Pentagon today. So I just pulled that down. But there is a website where you can get daily numbers, but I checked it this morning, but it wasn't updated till, I think, April 8th, which were the 9th. What was the date?
It's 10th
the
today.
10th, so from 2 days ago. I'll have Chris send you the link where you can check the numbers.
Yeah. So, Christina, I mean, you're kind of being in the dark. Seeing these numbers, they're very, very alarming.
They are very alarming, especially with the way that, the initial contact, they're saying, oh, we just want to make sure that they're going to be okay. We're not worried about it. Now, their numbers, and granted, it's a small space that they're confined to. So, they're sitting on top of each other. They're literally laying on top of each other. There's 6 people to one little itty-bitty space in their birthing unit. But initially they said, oh, we're not too worried about it. Now, there's one ICU, there's one hospitalized, there's how many? 416 positive?
187 symptomatic.
Yeah. And I think
So they kind of pulled the wool over our eyes. And the parents, these are still young sailors. A lot of them are still very young. Some of them just out of boot camp. Mm-hmm. My son is not just straight out of boot camp, but some of them are. So, the parents of these kids are sitting there saying, well, hello, you said everything was okay. This was just a, precaution that we're going back to Guam so we can be on land, so we can be near, real facilities. And so parents were sitting there saying, hey, okay, I'm not going to worry too much about it until I know more. And so I'm sitting here, and every day, like last night, it was about 7:30, and I hadn't heard from my son, and I got onto Messenger. I was like, hey, what's up? And then he came on like 20 minutes later, and he was like, I'm okay. I'm okay. I haven't felt anything. I'm in good spirits. We're good. And it's like, dude, you can't do that to me. You can't sit there and let me be in the dark right now. This is not the time to be in the dark right now.
Do you have her info?
And that was last night when you spoke with him. So you usually get a chance to speak with him every day? I mean, through Messenger.
It's basically, one of those touch and go, hey, are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Okay, I'm praying for you. I'm praying for your shipmate. I messaged another shipmate, and he's like, can you also pray for my wife, because she's worried just as much. And I'm like, your wife is in my prayers, dude.
Mm-hmm. I noticed on Facebook there is like a spouses or a family Facebook page for people that are related to sailors that are on the USS Roosevelt. Are you on that group by any chance?
No, I'm not.
No, okay. So you've spoken with other. I remember when we spoke last time. You said that your son's friends are also part of your family, your extended family.
Yep.
Have you heard from any of them? How are they doing?
I heard from 3. Last night we just touched base. So they are good, from what I know. I don't know if any of them are positive, and even if I did know, I probably would not share that.
Mm-hmm.
But they seemed in good spirits as well.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of
the same messages that there. Pray for us. I'm praying for you guys. Thank you for your prayers. That kind of thing.
Right. Christina, I remember when we first spoke. When the situation was first in the media. I remember talking to you. You were very optimistic. You'd said your boy is fine, and this was at the beginning of all this. And this situation has changed so much in the last couple of weeks. So I just want to find out, where are you from when we first spoke to finding out this morning these numbers, which are very shocking.
I'm still very optimistic. My Lord is a good Lord. He's a loving God, and I pray to Him every day. And I've always prayed to Him. And I'm not saying, people that don't pray, oh, you're going to get sick and you're going to die. No, that's not what I'm saying. Please don't ever think that I am wishing ill on anyone. But if my son gets sick, I know that he is healthy enough to beat this. And that's where I stand. And I'm going to continue to stand on that, because that's what my faith tells me. That when I pray, my God will take care of me and my children and my son. And that's the only way that I can think right now. Because if I sit here and I dwell on the negative, I'm gonna drive myself mad. And I can't do that. I can't do that for my son, and I can't do that for the rest of my children. So I have to stay optimistic. I have to. And until somebody sits there and tells me your son is sick, you need to come over here to the hospital, then I'm going to sit here and I'm going to continue to remain optimistic.
And this has got to be, made more difficult in that this is Easter Sunday weekend. And
Yep. And we had a big elaborate dinner plan for the kids that are here, because remember, I did not know Jose was going to be here. Technically, he isn't here. In my mind, he's somewhere out there in the middle of the ocean. That's how I see this. Even though when I do drive towards Naval Station, come down the hill from Santa Rita, and I see that ship that's there, I'm just like, my son is in there. My son is there. He's a stone's throw away from me, and I can't touch him. I can't hold him. I can't sit here and tell him I love him in my arms on Easter Sunday. It's Good Friday, and I'm sitting here saying, okay, there's no meat. We have to watch the mass. Like, who watches a mass? My grandmother used to do it because she couldn't go to mass physically. I should not have to be watching a mass on TV. You know what I mean? But that's where we're at right now. And it's hard because I want my family with me, and I can't have them with me because of this. Sorry. I seem to always cry when you guys call me.
You're making me cry.
Christina, I already cried 3 times. This is not how I wanted to start this show.
Yeah. I was surprised too when I pulled it up because, that's one of my daily checks, and I couldn't believe it. Like, this is just a lot of people.
My thing is, how come the national news is getting these numbers before we do, and they're on our soil?
Yes.
I mean, yes, it's a U.S. soil, okay. But how
Yeah, the admiral should be.
SecNav sat there and said stuff about, oh, the governor's sticking her neck out for us and da 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 yada yada. I'm not going to get into that whole speech. But if they're so concerned about our government putting their necks out for the sailors, then why are they not sharing numbers with us? Why are they only sharing it with the United States news?
Well, we know that they're like we've been saying from the beginning. There's over 20 Guam sailors and their families that are they are in this news, and so we're trying our best to get the stuff to come down nationally, and we're going to continue to keep you guys posted. I think the admiral. I mean, maybe he's going to be at the press conference today, but you're right. We tried to ask Linda DeNorsi about this a couple weeks ago about including these numbers from the Roosevelt in the local numbers. And we didn't really get a straight answer. She said that if they're tested at Naval Hospital, the Naval Hospital is obligated to report it to public health. And so we now know that these sailors have been being tested at Naval Hospital. So we're not sure where the disconnect is, but, obviously we're looking at this relationship that the governor has with the admiral. And just wondering why there's not more transparency coming out of it. Well, Christina, I wanted to ask.
Hold on, though, Chris. Okay. And I've been thinking about this. Oh. It is maybe they are being transparent to the governor. Maybe the governor is the one that's not being transparent with us. Just saying.
You got a point there because, we found out about these meetings that the governor's been having with the admiral and with the secretary of the Navy. We found out from the national news. So, you got a very, very good point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm not gonna, speak ill of Governor Liu either, but everybody seems to be playing the numbers close to the chest, and I get that because, if they say the real numbers, maybe more people will panic.
Right, or maybe China's going to launch another rocket, or
Let's not hope for that day, Christopher.
No. Christina, I want to. I just want to ask you, because at the beginning of this, when I did the first story with you, you had made a comment about some of the comments that were going around. And, while there were comments that I believe were totally uncalled for, I also felt that there were some very valid concerns that were raised by a lot of people in the community who feared this exact situation. They said that this was a possibility. And now that we're looking at these numbers, and I just heard from Dr. Felix Cabrera, the Governor's Physicians Advisory Council, that he's briefing the military brass this morning, so he can't call into the radio show. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking that it's definitely got something to do with the TR. So we know Naval Hospital's capabilities, and obviously the governor, she did stick her neck out. There was a lot of backlash on this, and her kind of train of thought was, we're here to help. We're going to do whatever we can. So I just want to ask you now that this is happening, this is developing, do you kind of understand a little more where some of these concerns were coming from?
I had the same concerns, Chris. Don't get me wrong. Please, do not get me wrong. I had the same concerns. The problem that I had was they forgot that they're still human beings. And to sit there and, wish the bad ill that they were wishing on these sailors, that's the problem that I had. And we shouldn't be doing that. Everybody's going to get sick. You know, it doesn't matter if you're black, brown, polka dotted, purple. You have a chance of getting sick. And those guys on that ship, you know, they're not any different from any of us here on this island.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where my opinion always stood.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I agree with you 100%. You know, Chris knows how I feel about it and how I felt from the beginning about how they are human beings.
Yeah.
And for us to just sit here and not help them, it's just unacceptable to me.
Mm-hmm. You know, and I get the fear. I've always understood the fear. I fear it too. I have a 17-year-old here that, you know, being inside the house is torture. It's literally torture for him. And it's like, babe, you can't go out. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it because I want us to fight. I'm not doing it because I trying to punish you. You can't go outside. And the kids don't understand. You know, that's the hardest part. The kids don't understand. But my friends are all out there playing. Yes, okay, fine. That's on their families. That's not going to be you. I'm trying my hardest here. But I digress. The sailors are humans too.
Yeah.
Please pray for them. I know it's all hard on everybody, and I know everybody's scared and fearful and all of that. But this is where we're at right now.
This is where we're at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Christina, I want to thank you for your call. I can't even imagine we're all dealing with this COVID-19, but to have that added, I mean,
We're praying for you and
yeah,
everybody.
we're definitely. I'm gonna light some candles. I'm gonna light some extra candles this weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.
God bless you.
Take care.
God bless you too. And hey, you guys have a good Easter. Good Friday. Don't eat meat. Watch church. Watch mass. And you know, today's a day of fasting. Today is a day of reflecting as well on what He did for us.
Thank you, Christina.
Thanks, Christina.
Okay, you have a good day.
God bless you.
too. Stay safe.
God bless you too.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Oh, there you go. Christina Schwen. She's the mother of Jose Luis Schwen. He's a sailor aboard the USS Roosevelt. Bree, we just got, can we run through those numbers again from the Theodore Roosevelt and then we'll go to break?
Right, yeah. Vice